Everyone should be in two businesses. Securing the home economically is the only reason to even have external work.
Banking just exists no matter what. When money transfers hands from one person to another, we've done banking. Even if you just store the money, you are banking.
The homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career.
I will sacrifice all of my time, energy, and efforts to make sure that you can stay home. That's the best thing for our kids. It is our moral obligation to make sure that our income and our ability to provide for our families is protected to the highest extent possible. This could save America.
All right. Hey, everybody. What's up? What's up, Brian?
Hey, here we are again for another episode.
Yeah, this one is called A Man's Two Businesses. This is a common refrain that you're going to hear in the IBC world, that everyone should be in two businesses. You have your primary occupation, vocation, whatever you do. What if someone asks you what you do, this is your answer to the question. The other thing you should be is a banker, because as we've talked about, someone in your life is fulfilling that role. Now, again, we're not talking about starting a bank, becoming a licensed banker, et cetera. But when we talk about the banking function, when we talk about just recapturing interest that is fleeing our system for those institutions better suited and who better understand the flow of capital, someone is performing that job, and it can be you. Someone is your money is currently sitting somewhere, and someone is profiting off of it. We hit that over and over and over. And so when we say you should be in the banking business, you should understand the flow of capital, and you should have a system in place that allows you to capture the benefits that someone else is currently capturing if you are not doing IBC. The basis of this comes from The Economics of Life Insurance, a book we talk about a lot by Solomon Huebner. We're going to throw in some quotes from him and just discuss kind of conceptually this idea. So any thoughts on this, Brian?
Well, I mean, I think Solomon, he talks about there being like two business enterprises, a little bit different than Nelson, where Nelson says that, we should be in two businesses, like you just said, the one you make money in and banking. His is a little bit of a different take from Solomon Huber, where Solomon talks about the two business enterprises being his home and his vocation. So what exactly does he mean by that?
Yeah, so everything we do, when I ask what you do for work, that's not who you are. That's not what truly matters. What truly matters is why you're working. I mean, people don't just get up and drive 45 minutes to go work for somebody else because that is their satisfaction. They're doing that to support their family. Primarily with our audience, again, we mostly work with men, with fathers, and so we generally point our discussion in that direction. So as a head of a household, your job serves primarily to afford the greatest economic advantage to your family business or the home. And so the banking function we talk about, being a banker, all of that is to keep these benefits, to keep the gains from owning this function, controlling it within your personal economy. And your personal economy extends to your family. As a head of a household, you're running your family's finances, you're making sure that they have what they need. And so these are kind of conceptual ideas. It's not a hard and fast thing, but they're saying the same thing in different ways. Your home as a business, banking as a business, you are improving your personal economy for the benefit of your family.
Yeah, and I actually think there's massive ties there because, if you like, where Solomon talks about the home as a business, the banking business, uh, you know, banking is. I actually think it's James Nethery who often says that. I don't know if it's his statement first or Nelson's, but banking is. It just exists no matter what. When money transfers hands from one person to another, we've done banking. Even if you just store the money, you are banking. So your family is going to take part in banking. Why not take, Nelson's idea of banking being the second business and the more important business in the long run when you look at the grand scheme? He was looking at a 70 or multi-generational timeline. That directly, I think, ties in with Solomon's idea of like the home as the enterprise, because why not take over that entire banking function, even though he didn't talk about that in particular, Solomon Huber? But why not take over that function that is going to be so profitable for your family? So we should be financing, it should be a Moody family system of bank or system of policies that creates the Moody family bank. It should be the TUI family bank that is built by a system of policies. You should be financing your brother's car. I should be financing my brother's car, all four of my kids' cars, their homes down the road. And that should perpetually happen, which just builds that family or home enterprise. So the correlations are, like you said, we could go on and on, right? Or so intertwined, the two ideas.
Yeah, and the idea that you do what you do for your family, the job is to provide for your family. And Huebner says securing the home economically is the only reason to even have external work. Another good quote that kind of ties into this concept of like you have this job which we think of as our primary job as what we do, but really what's important is the why we do. And C.S. Lewis said in referencing homemakers, the homemaker has the ultimate career. All other careers exist for one purpose only, and that is to support the ultimate career. I am working as hard as I am so that my wife can stay at home with our children. That is like if I'm going to make a decision between where we're going to live, between what job I'm going to take, the considerations are going to be time away from family, how like everything comes back to securing your home. And so that idea ties in as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I remember, before I knew IBC or any of this, and I was a school teacher for a while, and then I was also working as an Air Force pilot in the reserves. And I remember talking to my wife, and I said, if something fell apart and I can't do one of these two jobs at the time, I don't care if I have to take three part-time jobs. Like I want you, I will sacrifice all of my time, energy, and efforts to make sure that you can stay home, and because that's the best thing for our kids. It's the best thing for our progeny, man. So
Yeah.
absolutely.
A Another great line from Huebner. He says, "Family may be likened to a business partnership between a man and a woman, which should be started, managed, and protected along correct financial lines." So he goes into more detail about treating your home like a business. This is a partnership you're entering into, and if you're going to start a company, you're going to form a business partnership. You're going to have all of these. There's a whole checklist you could find of things to consider, contingencies to watch out for. Or to prepare for. There's a whole slew of things that you would be crazy to not take into account. But when we go into the partnership between husband and wife, a lot of these things on the financial side are not even considered. And so your role in that equation is ensuring that you can protect your family and protect that business, which we do
Yeah.
with insurance.
Yeah, and we really, and I had to come to this because it's everything's in the way you think, and Nelson taught us that over and over and over. Everything is how you think. Rethink your thinking, and so I had to come to this conclusion. But I now think that it is our moral obligation to make sure that our income and our ability to provide for our families is protected to the highest extent possible, if not the absolute highest extent possible. That these companies will write on you. And Huber says it's an injustice to wife and children to permit the starting of the family business with nothing more than the unsecured goodwill and earning power of the breadwinner, when these important factors may be lost at any time through death. And we talked on our last episode about the three types of death for a quick review. Like, tell me what those are.
Yeah, so we've got the death we all think of, which he calls casket death, where I walk off this earth and I'm no longer here to produce. But if we expand it to death of my income producing ability, there's two other types: disability, where I can no longer work, or retirement, where I choose to no longer work. And so when and we've also talked about human life value, like as a snapshot in time, you and your current employment make your salary. And so when he says that nothing more than the unsecured goodwill and earning power of the breadwinner, your earning power is what you're currently earning right now, but you have future years ahead of you that you have to plan for. And so we we use this product and this process to plan not only for right now and securing your current earning power, but your future earning power, because you also owe your future earning power to your family.
Yeah, that's right. And that could be a long time. So, and that could be a lot of money. So we need to anything can happen. I don't have a lease on health or life or any of that sort of stuff. So anything can happen anytime. That old bus can run us over and put us out of work forever.
A good quick summary of in one phrase of the living benefits and the death benefits side of this. Life insurance is a wife's right, a child's claim, and the insured's privilege and economic opportunity. That hits both sides of it. It's your wife's right, your child's claim. That is the preserving the future earning potential. That is, once you leave, do you ensure that your income and what you provide doesn't leave with you? And then also at the same time, the insured's privilege and economic opportunity. You have these living benefits. You get to be the banker the entire time that you're alive, and then you fulfill the second part of this obligation. That's why this product is so powerful. It can fulfill both of those needs, which is you need financing in your life. You need this economic stimulus. You need to properly manage your personal economy, but you also need to ensure that you've put that protection layer in place. And that's what we do with the whole life policy. And that's what we do doing so via the infinite banking concept.
Yeah, beautiful. It really is amazing, man. I still kick myself in the butt thinking that I once closed a whole life policy. It unfortunately would not have been with a mutual company. And, I didn't know that at the time. I didn't know anything about that. But man, it's just crazy to think of, the lack of education and the lack of understanding of this. And this could save America, man. If we actually, build the 10%, which is Carlos Laura's a goal that he always talks about, building the 10% to hit that tipping point of when people understand this, it could completely change our country financially.
Carlos Lara being the current president of the Nelson Nash Institute.
Yeah, thanks. Yep, that's right.
Yeah, so life insurance should be prioritized as a family business expense immediately after the necessities of life and education. Putting this in the proper order of where it should be in your total outlay of capital, it should be just underneath putting a roof over your head, feeding your family, education. This is not just a one-way budget item expense.
Yeah, well, I mean, with what you're saying there, this is a critical expense, but more than an expense, I think that as we talk about over and over, and I don't think we ever should stop talking about, is that we have a massive savings problem in America. And so the first thing we need to do is save money, because believe it or not, I think saving can get you to wealth just as well as that high rate of return when you put your money at risk, if not better. And we can do both. So my goal is, with my kids, it's like, you're going to save at least 20%, and that should be increasing through your life. But here's this optimal place to save that money. That money should be saved in the form of premium, because we're going to structure it for the infinite banking concept. So you're going to have access to a large amount of that cash right off the bat. And you're going to do everything we've talked about here. You're going to create this protection. You're going to create this family business. You're going to secure the home while with the money that you're earning elsewhere. So you're going to take care of all these things and finance your life just literally by saving in the right place first. So that order of operations you mentioned starts with saving. I mean, put a roof on your home, put a roof over your head, clothe yourselves, fill the fridge, take care of basic necessities, and you need to be saving. You should really save first, but I mean, if you can't put a roof over your head, that's probably primary. Save your money and save it in this environment, dude. It's amazing. I mean, it does so much for us.
And that helps with the mindset shift of thinking of this as an expense to moving capital from one savings vehicle that is less efficient to an optimal savings vehicle. You're just transferring money to a different account that you're going to be saving in. It's not just an expense where you write it out in the budget and it's gone. It's not your other types of insurance where you pay the premium, you hope nothing happens, and then when you get rid of the car, that was just gone. This is just flowing money to a different savings account.
Yeah, I always tell people, especially at a certain point when the overall big expenses of the base policy that we talked about in the last episode, and in those early years, you don't get cash value on that base policy. So once we overcome those first couple of years, and somewhere around year 4, these policies hit high level of efficiency. It's literally like a savings account. It's just taking money. Your company deposits your money in your left pocket, and you're going to take a big portion of it in the form of premium, and you're just moving it to your right pocket. It's no different because you still have full access to it. It's just in an optimal environment, and it does all these things you just talked about, which is It's absolutely incredible, man. What a blessing to have learned this.
Yeah, and the government's in your left pocket, so we want to get to that right pocket as soon as
Yeah,
possible.
that's right. That's right. Oh, yeah. Wealth and prosperity is in the right pocket, and it starts with moving some money over there. Hey, man, that's a nice, short, sweet one, but I like it. I think it's impactful and big. You got anything you want to add?
No, it's just reach out to us, info at Remnant Finance, or go to our website, set up a clarity call. We want to help you create an estate where one might not exist and help you fulfill that dual mandate of optimizing while you're alive and protecting when you're not.
Yeah, and this mandate, like so many others in our recent history, is actually good for us.
Yep, and it's not illegal.
It's not illegal. Yeah, yeah. No, you won't get any clots if you do this.
Yeah. Well, with that, yeah, that's a good place to end.
Cool, man. We'll chat soon.
All right.
All right.
Yep.
See ya.
Cheers.